Hi guys, and welcome to this episode. In this episode, we are looking at server-side routing using Juniper SRX firewall. So in the previous video, we saw how to use FortiGate using static routing. So in today's video, we are going to see how to configure the Juniper firewall. So without wasting much time, as you can see, my main focus is on vEdge 6, which is going to connect with our Juniper SRX firewall. So first of all, I need to enable the cable connection. So I'll connect on gigabyte 01 to gigabyte 00, and then I'll connect the gigabyte 001 on the Juniper to our end device that we have over here. So I'm going to go ahead and do the initial IP configuration on the FortiGate, on the Juniper XRS firewall. So as you can see, we are on our Juniper XRS firewall. And the first I'm going to do is to set IP address on the point-to-point interface. So it's as simple as just issuing the command set interface gigabyte 00. I'm going to use the unit 0 family inet address. And the address I'm going to use is 172.16.6.2/24. I'm going to commit the changes. So I'm going to go ahead and pull up my vEdge 6 as well. So show interface description. So I have this IP configured on the gigabyte 001 as I showed you over here, going to the Juniper XRS firewall. So let me see if I can ping my Juniper XRS firewall. So run ping, ping VPN1, and then the address is 172.16.6.2. I think I made a mistake over there. Let me see. Yeah, yes. So VPN1, ping, yeah, VPN1, 172.16.6.2. And as you can see, I can't ping the Juniper XRS firewall. So let's go back to the Juniper and let's see if we can ping our SD-WAN edge device 172.16.6.1. As you can see, I can't ping it. The reason being that by default, the Juniper XRS device comes with security zones configured with trust and untrust zones. So currently on the security policy that we have over here, there's no policy that is allowing the interfaces in the different zones. And as you can see, currently we don't have any interface in any zone. So the device does not know which interface is in a trust zone or which interface is not in a trust zone. So I'm going to go ahead and do that configuration. So what I'm going to do is edit security zones. I'm going to say set security zone trust. And I'm going to allow it to receive different traffic for different services on this interface. So I'm going to say, so this is a trust interface. So the trust interface is going to be the interface connecting to my internal network. So set security zone trust, host inbound traffic, system services, all. And I have to also add an interface as well. But then before I do that, let me I have to configure the interface on the Juniper first. So set security zone on trust, host inbound traffic, system services. Oh, so I'm just doing a random configuration, right? So that both the trust and non-trust interfaces or zones are is going to receive system services, or let's say um, services like paying and others, so that we can reach our SD-WAN controller. So whilst I'm here, let me just configure the interface for the on-trust zone. So set security zone on trust. I'm going to add an interface gigabyte 00 unit. Okay, so 0. So what I'm saying is that I'm just going to add the one interface connecting to the SD-WAN fabric as an on-trust interface because it's coming from the public network. And then the interface going to my LAN to be the trust zone. So I have to configure the interface going to my LAN side to set interface GE 000 so 1.0 family inet address. I'm going to configure this address, which is 192.168. Let's say 200.1/24. And then I'll have to go back to the security zones to set security zones interface. Sorry, trust interface GE 1.0. So basically, what I've done is that. So let me go back to top. And let's say show pipe compare. So what I've done is that I created security zones. Sorry, the security zones were already created. We had a trust and then non-trust. And then what I did was to also add application profiles to these security zones that receive services from all, I mean, receive all services on these interfaces. Then you have to also configure the interfaces to be in their respective zones as well. So since I'll be accessing the Juniper interface from my my management also let's say for my host PC, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to enable a management IP on the Juniper as well. So set interfaces FXP0 unit 0 family inet address, and I'm going to give it an address within my network that I can access from outside on 192.168.10.41/24. I'm going to go ahead and commit to the configuration changes. So if everything is fine, we should be able to reach the SD-WAN controller, SD-WAN edge device. So let me try again. And as you can see right here, we can reach the Juniper SRX firewall. And if we try from here as well, we should be able to reach the vEdge 6, which is 172.16.6.1. And as you can see, we can reach the vEdge 6. So right now we have full connectivity. So what we're going to do next is to configure the BGP. So right now that we have full connectivity on using the CLI, it's time to pop up and access the web interface that we have. So this is our web interface for our SD-WAN controller, which is the vManage. I'm going to go ahead and log in. And I also go ahead and log into the Juniper SRX 192.168.10.41. I'm going to see if we can log in. So let's see how it goes. So far, I've been able to log into my SD-WAN dashboard. Let me just check if the interface is up on the Juniper. So run show interface test. So currently my management interface is down. So let's see. I think I didn't do the connection well. So let me just connect it to FXP0. Now, if all things being good, we should be able to see our interface up. Okay, so it's still down. So what I'll do is that I'm going to delete the interface and configure it again. And configure it again. Delete interface FXP0. Init 0, family, inet, commit. So now let me check if the interface is up. So as you can see, it's currently down. So let me just disable the connection again. So let me connect it back. Okay, so let me see if I have the interface up now. Okay, so it's currently still down. Okay, that's fine. Let me do the configuration again. So show set interface FXP0, unit 0, family, inet, address 192.168.10.41/24, commit. Let me see the interface again. It's still showing down. Okay, so let me pause the video and do a quick fix, and then I'll come back soon. Okay, so what I had to do was to actually delete the interface FXP0 for the interface to come up. So now we can go ahead and set our interface IP address again, commit. And let's do a show run on the interface again. I'm sure the dashboard has opened because I see my browser pop up. So let me just click on OK. And as you can see, we've been able to connect to the Juniper XRS. It will take some time to load. And as you can see, it's loading now. So I can just go ahead and key in my login details. And it's going to open the Juniper XRX web management interface for us so that you can do the configuration from there. Let me try again to log in. So it should be working sometimes. I don't know why the dashboard behaves that way, but then obviously it will come. Okay, so we have access to our Juniper XRS device. We can do some quick show around to see what we have over here. So we have the dashboard. I'm not going to go ahead and go through everything. Let me go straight to management. So let's go straight to network. So as you can see, we have our interfaces up. So we have our interfaces up with their logical interfaces as well. And as you can see over here, the IP addresses that we configured. So first of all, let's go to routing. Let's go to BGP. And what I'm going to do is that I need to set the global configuration. So I think it has already populated from the configuration I did earlier, but nevertheless, let's just go through and see what we did. So basically what we did was that I created the AS number. So for Juniper, you need to set the AS number even before you go into the BGP configuration. So I set the autonomous number to this, and I set the router ID to this, and I have enabled the BGP status as well. So for policies, we don't have any global policies for now. So I'll just click on cancel. Now, if you go top, this is where I configured the BGP peering for the vEdge6. You can go ahead and go into that. So before you go into that, let's look at the policies. So currently what I did was that I had to configure a policy to um, redistribute the connected interface, which is the LAN over here. So just as we do in Cisco, we distribute connected in, let's say, OSPF or any other router, or let's say using a prefix list to select this particular subnet or interface. It's the same thing I did for the Juniper device over here. So I think this is it. So I created one. It's very simple, just to create a policy. So I think I will show you the policy as well. So hold on, let me see. It should be here somewhere. So this is the policies. Okay, that's fine. So, and as you can see, this is connected. So this is how I configured it. So the family is iNet, which is IPv4, obviously, and there's no routing instance. Let's say VRF, we don't have it, and we are picking the iNet, which is the IPv4 routing table. And I selected the interface going to the the trust zone, which is our land side, and that was it. And the destination, no destination, and the action was to accept, accept, accept. Obviously, I don't need anything else. So we just want to permit the routing to the BGP routing table for it to be advertised. Let's go back to BGP and let's see the configuration I did for the peer over here. So the remote AS number was 100. So in our configuration for the vEdge6, we need to make sure that we have AS number 6, sorry, 100. Then I configure the neighbor details, and I have my neighbor over here. So this is my neighbor. This is the preference for the routes that I'll be receiving to, or let's say exporting to the neighbor, and then I put in a description over there, and that will be all. And the policies, I had to add the connected policy, let's say the route map that I configured for this particular peer. So as you can see, we are good to go. I think the pre-labs that I did earlier saved us some time, because we don't need to configure the whole policies again. What I'll do is that I'll go to the v manage, then I'll go to templates, and I configured a BGP template for this particular session. So we can go ahead and look at the BGP template, what we did over here, and go to edit, just a quick run through so we can see what we have over here. So first of all, I'm not shutting down the BGP. I have to enable the BGP process. And as you can see, I have the AS number as 100, the router ID as well. And then I have some defaults over there. I don't want to touch it. And when you come to the neighbor, this is why I configure the neighbor. So this is the neighbor, the address 6.2, which happens to be on our Juniper SRX firewall. Then we have our AS number, we have the address family, IPv4, and we don't have any policies configured on the vEdge side. And that is it, as simple as that. So we keep the defaults as it is over there. So we go back to device, then we go to vEdge6, then we click on this, we go to edit. So I created a BGP feature template. I'm going to add into a device template. So what I'll do is that I'll go to service VPN, then I'll go to BGP, then I'll select vH6 BGP template. Then I'll click on update, and to take us to the next window where we get to edit the parameters. If we are lucky, we are going to see everything populated, because as I said, I did a pre-lab before coming, so that is fine. So cancel. Let's go to, let me see it again. I think I must have made something. So let me hold, before we do that, let me go to next and see. Let me click on this. So the configuration should populate in a minute. So we have it over here. Let me see if the BGP actually picked up. Well, as I said, as you can see, I already did pre-lab. So everything that I configured has been already been populated over here. But it is no different from using the template to get it done. So as you can see, everything's already there, not to waste much time. So I'll go to configure devices. And it's going to configure the vEdge6. And while we wait for that, let me just pull up my window over here from the XRX. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to exit into the enabled window. So let me just run go BGP summary. BGP is not running. Do I have to commit to the configurations? Yes, I have to commit it. Yes. hold on. So I think I'm having an issue here. Let me just do a quick fix and come back shortly. Okay, so I had to reboot the Juniper XRX device. So I think I was misbehaving, so I had to reboot it. So now the configuration is done, right? So when we go to network and then we select vEdge6, we should see a BGP neighbor from the Juniper XRX device. So we can search for, let's say, BGP, let's say neighbors, right? No filter. So we should see a BGP neighbor with our Juniper XRX device. And as you can see, we have one there. We can also confirm from the Juniper XRX device, show BGP summary. And as you can see, we have established the BGP connection with the VH6. Now, the next thing to check is the routes, right? So let's check for the routes that we have received from BGP. Let's check BGP routes, no filter. I don't know why my screen is behaving this way. So as you can see, we have received one route from the BGP number, as you can see over here. Now let's see if OMP is doing the magic, if the other devices in the SD-WAN fabric are receiving this particular route. So that's fine. But let's select the device. I'll pick any device far away. I'll pick vEdge3, which is in Kumasi. Do not filter. Are we receiving BGP routes? No, because the vEdge4 does not know about the BGP routes, but then they can learn it through OMP. So let's see OMP received routes. And hopefully we should see the route in there. And as you can see, we have the routes being received from OMP, and that is it. And we can also do a trace route to that particular site. Let's do a trace route. So the destination IP is 192.168.200.1. I'm going to use VPN1, choose interface, and let's do a trace route. And hopefully it's going to go through the SD-WAN fabric to the destination. So let's see how it goes. And as you can see, so let's try ping as well and see. So let's say the destination IP is 192.168.200.1. Let me just confirm if it was 200.1. Show interface test. Of course, 200.1. So VPN1, select the interface. That is cool. Let's ping it and see. Yeah, so I think the Juniper is trying to block the ICMP pings, I presume. So, or let's say the Juniper does not have a default route to the SD-WAN fabric, but then either way, we can still enable a default route to be advertised to the Juniper. The reason why I'm saying that is because if we check inside the Juniper XRS and then we do show routes, right? There's no default route. It doesn't know how to get back to the SD-WAN fabric as well. So what we can do is that we can configure a static route. So let's say configure. So set route and options, router static, right? No, set set. Let me see. Let me get the command right. Set router. Set routing options. Let me see the next one. It should be, yeah, static. Static route. Destination is 0. And the Next hop should be 172.16.6.1. I'll click on commit. So this is actually a bad configuration, right? You have BGP running, also you have a default static route pointing to the vEdge6 show run interface test. So hopefully, no, so show run show route. Hopefully there's a default route. So let's see if this can actually solve the problem. So let me just ping it again. So fingers crossed. Yeah, so actually something is wrong that I need to figure this out. But then as you can see, okay, so you know what? Let me just select VPN 0 and try that one and see for the last time. But then it should work. So let me just try this and see. Let me just try this and see. Hopefully something should go through. Something should go through. Yes, so it went through, as you can see over here. It went through. I think I need to do further configuration on the XRS device to get it working. So using VPN 0, and as you can see, it's going through. We only had 20% loss, received 4 packets, and it went through. So let me just try it again and see. Yes, so I think the packet loss is coming over the SD-WAN fabric as well. So at least proof of concept, we've been able to establish BGP peering with the Juniper SRX firewall, and we also had to solve the issue of configuring a default route, pointing it to the vEdge6 as well. So thank you for watching this video, and see you in my next video.